Good evening once again. I welcome you all to this session of AI filmmaking and content creation class. Please, I want you to pay attention and I want you to bring out your jotter, make jottings, and use it. Like I said, each and every one of us have why we've signed up for this course, and I want us to take maximum benefit from it. And we hope that at the end of this training or this class that you would have been able to get value for your time. I know some of us are into business, some of us are into the content marketing space, digital marketers, social media managers, content creators, and you want to learn how you can use this skill to maximize your output, maybe in business, maybe in your day-to-day activity, right? And this is why this class has been initiated so you can learn, right? But the way we are going to go about it, I love laying the foundations to everybody so that we understand the core, right? They say whatever you know how to do or how it functions, you will know how to use it, right? So if for example I give you a boiler and you don't know that to use a boiler, you must turn on the switch or plug it in, that boiler will become useless, right? Even if you want to give it to another person, you don't know how to communicate. The same thing with whatever skill lesson you are doing. It's best to understand the core so that whenever you are doing whatever thing you are doing, you can replicate it because you have the fundamental knowledge, you have the core principles that guides that thing, right? Just like now in the AI space, we have a lot of AI tools and people can be overwhelmed because today you are using ChatGPT, tomorrow Claude is out, tomorrow Grok AI is there, tomorrow Google Flow is there already, tomorrow another one is coming up, Kling AI, Xfeed, Gemini, different in video, different AI tools keep coming up every day. But the secret to all of these things is that they have the same principle, and you need to understand that foundational knowledge. Just like when you were going to school, you are taught A, B, C, D. As you are progressing in class, the knowledge is being now modified for your level. But since you have a core understanding of the building block, it was easy for you to now learn in the process, right? Whatever level you get to. The same thing for AI, the space. You need to understand the core, the prompting, the things behind it, how it functions, so that any tool you are now using, call it any AI tool, because you understand the fundamental, it will be easy for you to implement. So we are looking at AI filmmaking and content creation, and the way we are going to be going about it is basically we talk about what is AI filmmaking. We're going to look at idea and concept development. We're also going to look at scripting for video. We're going to look at scene planning and storyboarding. We're going to look at the heart of AI prompting. Also going to look at how to generate AI assets, and then how to couple your video to make it a one single clip that tells a sweet story, and of course publishing and how you can make money from all of this, right? Now, what is AI? What is filmmaking in general? What is AI? Before we talk about what is AI filmmaking, we need to understand what is filmmaking itself, right? So, filmmaking is the process of making a motion picture from an initial story idea through the final completed film. It is a complex collaborative art form that combines technology, storytelling, and visual design. Right? In if you have seen all the movies on Netflix, on Amazon Prime, you know that there's a whole lot that goes into the production of that movie, right? It requires a lot of capital, tools, different things coming together to make it work. That is the normal. But you know now with AI, we are still doing the same thing now, but we are using AI tools to create all of this. We are now using AI to create all of this, right? And you know, before, if you want to make a movie, you're going to hire a cameraman. Let's say, for example, you are hiring a cameraman for 80,000 naira, a video editor, a voiceover artist, location and props, and maybe the whole total for that project, let's say it's 180,000 naira, per video. You know, combine it for weeks of production. How much is it going to be? How much is going to be? But with AI, it is now easy for you. With AI, you can script your video, you can generate your images, you can generate a professional voiceover, you can generate background music, and then you can assemble your video. And if you're good, you can do that between 2 to 3 hours, right? And there is a clause there. Oh. That is why I say if you are good, because if you don't know how to use it, you can spend a whole day on it. And if you know how to use it, you can do it in 2 to 3 hours. That is why I said that we need to understand the building blocks. What are the things we need in our creation process? And once you understand the core of these tools, it is easy for you, because it will save you time, it will save you money, right? The same prompt that somebody who don't know how to prompt want to create a video will do, you can create the same video with lesser prompt and lesser time. So that is why I'm saying we need to pay attention and understand the nitty-gritty of the process. And you all know now that almost every AI tool is paid. No one is free again. So imagine they are giving you, like Google Flow, that is giving you 150 credit. Google Flow will give you 150 credit to generate your video. And a video costs about 20 to 40, okay, 20 units of credit. Now imagine you don't know how to prompt, and you go and start prompting and prompting and prompting, and you use up all your credit for that day. It becomes a problem. So you have to wait till the next day. The same thing with Grox, right? The same thing with other tools, other AI tools. So you need to understand how it works, so that even when you are using them, you can save yourself time, you can save yourself energy and your resources. I remember a project I did. I used about a whole day. Another project I did it about 2 to 3 hours. Another one like about 1 hour. Well, all of these things, you factor in the duration and how lengthy the scenes or the video you're trying to produce is, right? So all of these things we are going to see in the course of this journey. I want all of us to get the maximum benefit from this training. Now, what can AI do and cannot do? I also need you to understand this now. AI can write your script, yes, instantly. AI can generate photorealistic images. AI can create professional voiceovers. AI can edit your video automatically. AI can compose original music. AI can animate characters. But do you know what AI cannot do? Yes, AI cannot replace you. AI cannot replace your personality. AI cannot replace your human emotion, because AI, they don't have emotions, they don't have any connection. AI cannot have the kind of lived experience you had, or your stories or your experiences. AI cannot do that. AI cannot have your creative vision or your judgment. You understand? AI cannot, have your audience relationship or strategic thinking and branding identity, right? These are the things that AI cannot do, because AI, even though is a powerful tool, they cannot replace you. You are the human. So AI is just here to help us amplify what we are doing, and not to take away our humanity or our personality. We've had conversations around, will AI take your job? Will AI not take your job? AI can never take your job if you know what you're doing. AI is an amplifier. So before, for a content creator or a social media manager to create a content calendar can take you, days racking your brain and everything. But with AI, you can create the same content calendar in less than an hour if you know what you're doing, right? For those who are looking for job, you can refine your CV in a minute. For those who are script writers, whatever space you are in, you can use AI to amplify the work you're doing. AI is just to amplify. They cannot replace you as a human because they don't have the emotions. So that is why what AI only understand is prompting. That is the only language you can use to communicate to any AI tool. Are we together? AI is your most powerful tool, but you are still the owner because you are the one controlling it, right? Let's go to idea and concept development. And why I'm going through this route is for you to have the understanding before we go into practical, before we go into the development, the practical of generating our ideas and generating our story. I need you to understand the basics of this process in content creation, AI filmmaking and content creation. Now, your idea and concept development, your idea is your rough thought. Okay, you just felt I need to make a content, I need to make a content about today, about my get ready with me today. That is just an idea. It's not yet a concept because it has not been developed fully. But concept is now when you put consideration all different things, right? Put it into perspective. I want to make a content about my day activity, how it affected me, what I learned, how it's going to be beneficial to people. It becomes a concept, no longer an idea, right? So you saw a story. Let's say, for example, now this Chike and what's this guy name who wants to be a millionaire, Fankedo story that is flying about infidelity, and you saw that story and you want to create a movie or a short story around it. Now you now take, okay, Chike, I want to write a story. That's your idea. I want to write a story around this. That's just an idea. It has not been fully developed into a concept. Now, you developing into the concept is now giving it more details and say, okay, this story, how do I want it to go? Do I want it to go in the positive end or do I want it to go in the negative end? In that story, you can come from a point of view of Chike, you can come from the point of view of Frank Edoho, you can come from the point of view of the wife. This is already three stories from one idea. You can come from three perspectives. Now you can even come from the POV of the public. What are the public thought on this? That's another entire story on its own, right? So in one idea, you can generate different concepts from it. Those are the basic principles about storytelling and filmmaking that we also need to understand. Sometimes we are always rigid when we are looking at an idea, we are looking at it from a one angle. So as a filmmaker, as a storyteller, you also need to be open. You can just be walking on the street and you see an idea. That is an idea. You go back and you develop it. And that is why we have AI tools now to help us develop our idea. And for you to have concept, you need to understand your niche. You cannot be everywhere as a filmmaker. I know there are people everywhere now. They are creating African stories. They are creating ads, business ads. They are creating baby stories. They are creating all these videos where you see a very fat person or a goat being put into a pot. All of those things, different kind of thing, just flying because maybe they want to just get traction or visibility on their page. But for you, you need to know what is your goal to why you want to start doing this. Is it based on your passion or is it based on what people need or is it based on your lifetime goal? What do you want to do? Why do you want to do this? right? For those who are already in business, you already know that, okay, I want to learn this so that I can use it to build my business, to tell a better story for my brand. But those who just want to learn are probably, start doing the same thing every other person is doing out there. This is my advice to you, that you should understand the goal to why you want to do it. There are a lot of social issues that we can start telling our stories about: the politics, the humanitarian space, the bad governance. All of these things are stories that we can tap into, right? And use AI to tell our story. You don't even need to start looking for big equipment anymore. You don't need to. AI can do all the process for you, from your scripting, from your storyboarding, from your scene development, right? Even generating your audios and prompt for your scene. All of these things are possible. So, but you need to understand where you want to pitch your tent as a creator, or as a filmmaker, or as a content creator now. So is it on your passion? And your passion is what you genuinely love talking about. So for those in business, it can be for your fashion, it can be tech, it can be that you are promoting other businesses for social media managers or digital marketers, right? And you are doing this because your client want it, or you want to use it to promote your client business. You understand? And in the end of the day, at the end of the day, what you're doing is going to add more qualification or increase your earning capacity, because as you're doing it, you earn from it. You can create a 1 minute AI clip and collect 50K for it, 100K for it, depending your interaction with your client, right? It depends on you. It can be that you just want to be a freelancer and learn this thing and start using it. But you need to understand where you want to pitch your tent, because at the long run, it is what will now differentiate you between everybody that is a creator or AI film creator, right? So when all of these three align, that is your golden niche. When you have your passion, audience need, and your goal. Now, I talked about our raw idea, and I also talked about our concept. So, for example, I said I want to post about cooking. That is just a raw idea. But when you now give it more context to say 60-second reels, one Nigerian meal under 1,500 every Tuesday for Lagos working mom, you are now giving it more, you are generating into a concept that is no longer generic, but you are niching it down to working moms, of busy people in Lagos. Look at this other one. I want to do a motivational video, but let's say you say I want to do 2 minutes Monday pep talk for young Nigerian entrepreneurs using AI avatars and cinematic visuals. Now you have niched it down to young Nigerian entrepreneurs. The same thing for this. I want to review gadgets, but that is just an idea, and you gave it, you develop it into a concept. Weekly YouTube short, best budget Nigerian smartphone under 100K with AI generated graphics. Now you are giving it a more detailed niche where you want to focus on. Now let's go to scripting for video, and this is where I need you to pay attention, guys. I want you to pay attention here. Now, for scripting, I'm going generic so that we have a full understanding of most things around content, right? Which you can diversify, or you can deploy to other thing you want to do. Even if you don't want to do filmmaking, film creation, maybe even in your content creation journey, you can also deploy this, because by the time we now move into practical, where we are fully focused in filmmaking processes, you understand that, okay, some of these things might not apply, but you can still tweak it to suit your need. Now, for general content, a lot of videos that you watch on Instagram, on Facebook, there is something we call hook. There is something that makes you want to watch that video in the first 3 seconds. You saw a video and the person, maybe it can be a transition, or how the person talked, or what the person say. That is the hook. That is what kept you. That is what made you want to see. You've seen those videos, reels, where they say, uh, that was me, something like that. You are wondering that who is that, or something like that. That was me, because now that's the hook. They want you now want to see what happened to that person. They've used that to hold your attention. So in scripting, you have to make sure that you have something that will grab the attention of people for the first 3 seconds, right? That is in general content, any kind of content, whether it is video content or you're just writing your normal copy. Even as a copywriter, you can deploy this thing. You need something to hold people's attention for the first 3 seconds they are opening your content anytime. Then you move to the promise. Tell the viewers what they will gain by watching to the end. Because of the attention span of people, you want them to stay to finish your video. So it is that promise. You see, some people will say, when you stay with me to the end of this video, you will see the I have a gift for you, right? Or some people will say, you will learn 5 things that will help you do this. And now they start mentioning the one, and they'll tell you the fifth one is the most important. That fifth one is the most important, is something they want you to be anticipating for, so that you can watch that video to the end. And then the main content delivers the main value. Your tips, your story, your information, every other thing that you want to share is the content. Then the proof is the backup your point with a real example or demonstration. Especially those in the maybe in the marketing space now, where you are selling a product. At this place, this is where you bring proof to tell people that this is what this product have done, or this is the benefit that people are getting from this. And then a CTA, your call to action. What action do you want people to take? All of these things must be added to your process, your formula, to make your script well detailed, right? And that is why this thing, we are bringing this to you, so that you know, even if you have been doing it and you're not doing it well, you can now start using this formula to get the best out of your story, out of your content, as you're pushing it. And these are some of the hooks I was telling you about. Some people can say 95% of Nigerian creators quit in 3 months. Here is why. And you are a creator, right? You want to watch and know why 95% of Nigerian creators quit in 3 months. Because you are afraid that you too you might fail. You are a content creator. You are afraid that you might fail. So you want to watch and see what happened. They are only appealing to your emotion. And we have the bold claim where they will tell you, this one AI tool replaced my entire video production team. Imagine somebody telling you that. And that means they've cut down their cost. If you see something like this, so you too you want to learn how they were able to, which tool they use to replace all their entire video production team. Because everybody want to make money. You don't want to spend money, but you want to make money, right? So these are some of the examples of the hook that you can see. You have been filming your videos wrong your whole life. Oh, let me see how I can make it better. What if you could make money while sleeping with AI? A lot of time I've seen this one, and I'm sure you too you have seen it. You want to stay and watch. So these are different hooks that can help you in your content, that you can use. There are millions of hooks that you can use. These are just examples that you can try, but these are the pillars where they fall in. For example, this last one that is showing the curiosity gap. I found one free tool that does what Canva, CapCut, and ChatGPT do combine. Really, you want to watch, you want to see the contrast. For example, say 200 production versus AI made video. Can you tell the difference? So all of these things are just hook to grab people's attention, to make them want to stay and watch those content. So you need to learn how to infuse all of this in your process, okay? Now, let's talk about the scene planning and storyboarding. And I want you to also pay attention in this place. When we talk about scene and our storyboarding, so every movie you see on Netflix, they have a scene planning and storyboarding. And that's just a sketch of how the the movie will flow the movie will flow from one place to another. Yes, there's a story we are building, it's a project that we are working on. I would have shown you the storyboarding, how it looks like, and you see what I'm talking about. It has a breakdown of how the videos are going to appear. So now, to make your work as a content creator, a filmmaker seamless, you need to understand this, so that when you have your scene, it makes it easy for you to prompt your video rightly. Because now imagine you're not using a paid tool that you have the luxury of credit to work with. For example, now that we are going to be using Flow, and it is giving us 150 credit to work with, and then you go and you did not plan yourself very well. In one scene, you have used like 60 or 80 credit already. What happens with the rest of your scene? What happens with the rest of your story? And that is why it's important we need to understand our scene planning our scene planning and storyboard, right? Scene by scene. It's like a step-by-step guide to what you are going to be we are going to be seeing. Now, for every element you see on your scene, these are five of the elements that every scene must have. Your scene must have a visual, your scene must have audio, your scene must have text overlay, your scene must have a duration and transition, right? So, for example, the visual is the characters, what is happening on that scene, that is the visuals, everything happening in that scene, that is what is happening. What is happening is the visual. Now, you've seen some scene where in movies, as something bad wants to happen, they will give you one sound, that is the audio, just to communicate the feel of that scene. Imagine a scene where people are dancing and you are using an audio that is sounding like where they are using went for burial or something. It is going in contrast to what is happening in that scene. So if you have a visual that is showing people that are happy and celebrating, you also need an audio that will complement it. And if there are going to be any text on it, the same thing with the text. And of again, if they're going to be transition from one place to another, a cut, a move, or any fade, it has to be all embedded on that scene, right? And all of this we are going to be seeing when we start our creation process, right? Now, this is just an example of how you can go about a creation of your reel or scene, going by what we've been saying. For example, between your hook, your visual, you have AI typing script in 5 seconds, then you have a beat plus hook and a voiceover, then the text overlay is AI wrote my script in 5 seconds, right? And the promise will now be creator face, that is the visual, the creator face to the camera excited, and a voiceover, three free AI tools that will change how you create forever. Then the text overlay will now be three free AI tools will appear on it, right? I'm giving you this example. This is the standard that they follow in the industry to put out all these content or videos you're seeing. But of course, to us, we might not go through all this process because we want to do it and get it done quickly. And you say tip one, the screen, ChatGPT generating a script. That is what you want to see on the screen. Then the voiceover will now be ChatGPT writes a full script under 10 seconds, right? And the ChatGPT to one will appear on the screen. So this is how a scene is planned for the standard creators. But to us, we might not really go through all this process, right? So now this is another area where people have a lot of problem, and I want us to take time to plan and look at it together. The art of prompting. In AI, use of AI, what AI use is prompts. That is the only language it understands. AI does not have the feelings, does not have emotion. AI only understands prompting. That is the language. And if you as a person does not know how to prompt, it becomes a problem, right? It becomes a problem for AI to understand you better, right? And what is prompt? Prompt is the instruction you type into an AI tool. It is your way of communicating what you want. The quality of your prompt directly determines the quality of your output. This is not a theory, it is a law of AI. That is the language it understands. If you don't know how to prompt, AI will give you anything anyhow. And you know the popular saying, they say garbage in, garbage out. The same thing applies to this, right? Think of an AI like a brilliant new employee on their first day. They are incredibly capable, but they only know what you tell them. The clearer your instruction, the better their work. The clearer the instruction, the better their work. Now, let me show you, let's play around something on this prompt. Let's play around this a little and see what we have. So I'm going to be sharing my screen. We're going to be using, we're going to be using ChatGPT to make some prompts, and we'll see what we are saying. So I wanted us to see what I'm saying. Well, when it comes to prompting, prompting is the language of AI. That is what it to understand. So for example, I say, give me, generate the ingredient to cook jollof rice. This is what I gave AI, and I press enter. Generate the ingredients to cook jollof rice. Now, e gave me, here are the common ingredients you need to cook a delicious Nigerian jollof rice, about 5 to 7 people. That is what I gave AI, and it's giving me this prompt. Now, let's prompt further and say, generate the ingredients to cook a Nigerian jollof rice for 30 person with some flavors from Calabar and Kaduna in Nigeria. Let let the rice let the rice be prepared. Let the rice be prepared by a chef from United Kingdom. So let's this is just example now. Let's see what it will give us. Now, you can see what it's bringing. It's giving me two options. When it's done, it's giving me two options to select one. So it's asking me which of the response I prefer. click on this, I prefer this, right? So it has generated this subtle flavor influences on Calabar and prepared with the finest of a UK trained chef. Can blend smoky Nigerian jollof rice spice depth and layered aromatic without losing authenticity. But compare it with this one that is just say here are the common ingredients you need to cook a delicious Nigerian jollof rice for 5 to 7 persons, right? What is the difference here? The difference is just the prompt, the context to which we gave AI that this is exactly what we want. This is exactly what we want, and it was able to give us that. So we need to understand that whenever we are prompting. I know some of us are already using ChatGPT, different AI tools, but we need to learn how to prompt, right? I will just give us the basics of this, how you prompt, and this cut across any tool that you are using. It cut across any tool that you are using. Now, whenever you are prompting for AI, whenever you are prompting from AI, the first rule is that you need to give AI a persona. Like tell AI who you want AI to be. So, for example, that act as an award-winning Nigerian film director. You want to write a movie. You are giving AI the persona of act as an award-winning Nigerian film director, right? And you are giving it a role. Define what it should create. You are giving it a role to define what it should create. You are not just saying AI generate a movie script for Chike and this person's story, but you're saying act as an award-winning Nigerian film director, write a 90 seconds movie script, right? And you give it exact topic, state the subject clearly, about the rise of Nollywood in streaming, or about the infidelity conversation of Chike and Frank Edo's wife. So, but we are going to take example from the class so that we can use that to work. Then you give it the context, give background and audience info, right? For a YouTube channel targeting African film lovers between 25 to 40, or for a global audience between for a global audience that love African gossip, who are between the age of 25 to 60 years old. You are giving it another context. Then you define your format and structures. Use an emotional opening, three key facts and inspiring close. Give it, for that story we are using, use an emotional opening. Give three facts to marriage infidelity and give it an a negative closing. The tone and the style can be cinematic, inspiring, proud language, you know. And example, you can give it a similar tone to a Netflix African documentary narrator. And you know why all of this is possible is because AI tools have been fed with a lot of information. They have been fed with a lot of information. So when you give them context, they are able to understand what exactly you want them to do, to replicate, right? So, for example, now let's use this to texture what we are saying. For this type of prompt that is saying, write me a script and uh, act as a script writer, 60-second reel, a Nigeria hair brand, maintain braids for 4 weeks, women 20 to 40, friendly tone, hook, plus three tips and CTA, right? That is an example. You can see the difference. This one is weak and this one is strong. Another example you can see, create an image of food is a weak prompt. But when you give it content, generate a photorealistic pepper soup, clay pot, flat lay, candlelight, dark moody background, food photography 4K. It gives it more context. The same way when you are generating a voiceover, you say, make me a voiceover. That is weak compared to when you are saying strong voice prompts, female voice, Nigerian English, warm and knowledgeable. So we are doing all of these things so you can have a solid background of the processes involved in creating your content or generating your movie or your film. Whatever content you are doing with AI, maybe image, video, voiceover, music, anything, avatars, all of them, you need to understand how you can do that. And for your creation, for your script writing, you can use ChatGPT, you can use Claude, you can use Gemini. For your AI images, you can use Google Flow, you can use Gemini, you can use Grok. These are just to mention but few. There are a lot. There are a lot of tools out there, right? The only thing I advise people is whichever one is working for you, stick to it. Stick to it and be using it to get the results you are getting. I've used I've used Gemini, I have used Grok, I have used Kling AI, I have used Xfield, I have used Google Flow. Anyone you are doing that works for you, understand how it operates and you use it. And in this class, we're going to be using Flow. For AI clips, video clips, you can use Google Flow, Grok, Xfeed, Pixlab, King AI, Runway ML, different tools out there. The same for voiceover, you can use 11 Labs, you can use Speechify, you can use Speechma. But for this class, we're going to be use Speechify or Speechma because they are free tools that we can use, right? For avatars, you can use agents, synthetic, and other AI to even Clink AI. You can use that. AI music, you can use Google Studio, you can use Sonar AI, you can use Udio. And for video editing, of course, you can use CapCut, InVideo, and other AI too. I know there are a lot. For your thumbnails, you can use Canva. These are some of the tools that you can use. They are numerous, there are plenty. We cannot list all of them. These are just but few that we can, mention, right? So, um, let's take some let's take some examples. Let's take some examples and just practice and see what happens, okay? Right? So I'm going to be opening Flow. For those who are For those who don't have a Flow account, all you need is a Google account. All you need is a Google account. Yeah, your email. Then you go to, so this is Google Flow. All you need is just a Google account. So when you see, when you are here, you see create with Google Flow and you open create with Google Flow. So it is a web-based platform. It's either you're working with your phone or you're working with your your system or your computer. So this is how it looks. You see this, and then it will ask you to create a new project. Create a new project. You click on create a new project, and then it opens the canvas where you will do your magic. Where you will do your magic. I don't want to see what is new. So we are going to just take some examples. We're just going to create something and I will explain to you how it works. So basically, you see your flow. You have here characters. So how it works is you can actually use it for anything. but it's easier with scene generations when you have characters already, right? But you can also use it to create any other thing that you want, right? But for this example, let's just do this and I'll show you the other ones when we move fully. So we want to use it to generate this scene. What I've copied, a close-up product shot of luxurious Nigerian shea butter cream in a dark jar with a gold. Okay, let's not even use Flow. Let's use Gemini for this. Let's use Gemini. Let's use Google Gemini. Google Gemini is also part of the tools that we can use to generate images. So let's use Gemini. A close-up of this. Let's see what it's going to give us. So our image is being generated, right? So see what we have. You can see a close-up product of shot of luxurious Nigerian shea butter cream in a dark glass jar with a gold lid sitting on a marble surface surrounded by raw shea nuts and green tropical leaves. Soft diffuse lightning from the left, shadow depth of field, a commercial resolution 4K. Can you see? Is this not looking nice? Is this not looking nice? This is looking nice, right? You can use this as a product. So for those in the fashion space, you can even use AI to create fashion or designs for yourself, right? Now, imagine what we have now. Let me save it. I can save this. You see what we have here? You see what we have here? So I want to generate the same with Flow and let's see what it will give us. I want to use Flow to generate the same thing and let's see what it will give us. So now for Flow, you need to give it dimension. I hope you can see my screen. So for Flow, we have image and video. We have image and video. So depending on what you want to create, here we want to generate image. So you select image and what aspect ratio do you want to generate? Is it 16 by 9, 4 by 3, 1 by 1, 3 by 4 or 9 by 16? Then how many of the image do you want to generate? 1, 2, 3 or 4? Then here, what we are using in Gemini is also Google Banana, Nano Banana. So it's still the same thing here. But let's see if it's going to give us the same image or different image. So let's use this. But let's select one instead of two and see use 16:9. So let's see what flow is going to give us while we wait. So we have seen what Gemini from Nano Banana in Gemini gave us. So let's see what Flow is going to generate for us. But the beauty about using Flow is if I generate this image, I can also animate it in Flow, right? So Flow is built more for video creation. Flow is built more for video creation. You can see what this one is giving us. Oluwa share. It's almost looking the same. It's almost looking the same. But that one was opened and this one is not. So, but you can see what Flow is giving us. Now, the difference between Gemini and Flow is that in Flow, I can animate this. So let me say, since we have this now, let me animate it and we see what I'm talking about. So let me click on animate. Animate. How many video? I'm already using my. If I animate now, I'm already using my credits. Let me just use it. Animate. Let's see what it's going to give us. Animate. So it's going to load, and then animate the scene for us. So this is a scene as it is like this is a scene. So it's going to load and give us that. So you might be wondering that we are generating in landscape. We can also generate in portrait. This is what we have. You can see it has been animated. And we are seeing this because we did not really, give it another prompt to say this is how we want it to appear, right? But we can do this. If you are now creating a movie, you can do it better with prompts and make it look good. So we are going to be trying that also, and we see how it works. So let's try this. So we are generating, let's generate another image. This is cinematic slow motion of young African woman walking confidently through a bright modern Lagos office lobby. Now we are generating the image first, but we are not generating it in landscape. We are generating it in portrait format. So let's use this size now and see what we have. One as well. So let's see what it's going to. You see that here it has changed the size already. So let's see what it's going to give us. Let's just see. All right. Now look at what we have. You can see this is the image. Look at what we have. Looking good. We did not even give it anything, but we just asked AI based on the prompt that we provided. Now let's animate it and see how it's going to look. Let's animate it. You see what I'm telling you? You see how it's going to come out? So that's the beauty of AI. You can write a full story. Let's say you have something that you really want to share. AI can be like an assistant for you to really put yourself out there. You have no limitation again. Whatever thing you want to do, yes, it can AI cannot take away your human consciousness, your human ability. It does not have emotion, but it can help you to amplify the work you do. I can't tell you how many things I'm doing now that AI is like helping me to get it done, right? If you're in the creative space, you use Canva, you are a video editor, you are a content, person, you know that AI is like is a magic. AI is magical. Can you see it? You can see? Can we see it? Can we see it? So you can see that that scene has been animated. Now, why I'm taking you through this process, some people can go into the animation straight, and it will be a problem for them. So you need to go through the process step by step so that you have everything you want already. It makes your creation process faster.